Hello citizens, Man City are bad for football, we're ruining football, we got all this money and we just spend it however we want, we just don't care about the rules, we break them all the time. And that's what you're going to hear from Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans and United ones as well. I mean some solid Arsenal ones too. And from the media as well in particular, City are just bad in general. We should be investigated, we should be kicked out the Premier League, kicked out the Champions League. Well, let's all go home then. No, let's not, because I just want to talk about a few things. Back in the 90s when United were winning the league constantly, I think they won it 8 times out of 10 in the late 90s, early 2000s. They had all the money. They spent it. Don't think United didn't spend money. I remember when they bought Varane. I was at the ground when they did, actually. I bumped into him when he was doing his Sky Sports interview. They signed all these players that no one else could afford. They threw their money around. They threw their weight around. And nobody was going on about, this was bad for football and all this and that. And maybe a part of that is because they were brought up Giggs and Beckham and Scholes, and people like that. And they had a few youth players come through. But they still dominated with money. That's how they did it. They didn't do it by, bringing 10 youth team players through the team every year. They spent money. And that's what you need to do to compete with teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Juventus back then. And let's look at Blackburn. Blackburn, they won the league. How did they win it? They spent money. They bought the best players around. They won the league. They start spending money, they go down. Simple. Arsenal, they bought players. Maybe they didn't spend as much as other teams because, Wenger predominantly preferred French players. They went out and got some big French names. They won the leagues. But they were spending money. Chelsea, they came in, they won the league. They spent money. They tried to dominate England, but they couldn't do it. City came in, we spend money, we dominate. But we dominate for a few reasons. It's not just from the money. I mean, if you look at our team overall, we're actually making profit. People want to ignore this. We make profit. We made profit last season. We made profit before COVID. I don't think anyone made a profit during COVID. But before, we were making profit year in, year out. Yeah, we spend big money, but we don't go silly like it. In fact, if you look at United, spent £1 billion on players in the last, 10 years, is it? And what have they won? They've won nothing, I think, for 5 years at the end of this season. I don't think they've won anything. So what are they doing with their money? They're not investing in the infrastructure like City have. They've not invested in the youth teams like City have. And they also have only just about made a women's team. What are they doing with their money? Basically, their owners are taking it out for themselves while leaving the club in debt. A City in debt? No, we're not. We don't have any loans. We don't have any people we owe money to. Quite frankly, we're doing business the right way. And people don't like to hear that because we are dominating the league. And I think this will be our, 4th title in 5 years. Fantastic. Keep it going. I want to see more. But, it goes deeper than that. People are a little bit salty about it. And of course, you're going to hear a lot of things like oil money and this and that. And it's a farmers' league now. But we're making it look that way through quality players. You can't say the players are buying matches. They're not. They're playing well. They're working hard. And they deserve these titles. They deserve the competitions they're winning. And we're doing that in the right way as well because we've got the best manager. He plays fast, entertaining football. And I hear all the time, particularly on certain United fan cams, oh, City are boring to watch. I don't watch them. They're so boring. That's because we're winning. Now I'm being called a glory hunter. I've never been called a glory hunter before, but now I am. Now people question how long I've been a City fan for. Well, you've been a City fan before 2008. Unfortunately, yes. Yes, I have. And many of us have. And we remember them bad times as well. Do we deserve these moments? I think we do because we put with our team with some pretty poor performances through the 80s, 90s and early 2000s. We saw some crap. I remember Sven-Göran Eriksson, Stuart Pearce's manager when we won one home game. And I remember all these times. And to be called a glory hunter now is actually quite laughable. And to compare the Premier League to other leagues like, the French league where PSG should just dominate forever and not ever lose a game. Or Germany, where Bayern Munich do the same thing. Not quite the same because these other clubs around us are also spending money. And let's not forget Liverpool. They won their first title in 30 years in 2018-19, was it? Or was it last year? It was last year. But they also made the biggest transfer expenditure in English history for the calendar year for 2018. So let's not forget that. Let's not ignore the fact that Liverpool didn't buy the league that year. Basically, you need to spend money. Have City caused that effect? No, we haven't. We've just actually adapted to it. Chelsea were doing it long before us. United were doing it long before us. And Liverpool were buying players long before we could. Yeah, we spent a lot of money early on and we had to buy players in for extortion amounts, but we had to do that because we weren't the club we are now. Now we are the club we are. We turned down Harry Kane. You know, no one goes on about, oh, you know, City refused to pay for Kane. We did. We were like, we're not paying that much for him. We did the same thing with Sanchez when United got him. You know, we probably did the same thing for Ronaldo as well. And Messi, do you think we weren't interested in these players, or we looked at them and were offered them? Yeah, we were like, we're not spending that money. But what happens? United come in, overspend on these players like Maguire, you know, like Sanchez, people like that, and Fred. They overspend on these players they pretty much don't know anything about, just because City were interested in buying them. And that's the effect we've had. If Pep wants a player, other teams want the player. And that's a good thing for us, you know, we're building something. And I remember when we won the league in 2012, and in the chairman's interview, he was asked, are you going to keep spending this money? And he said, no, because we've won the league now. We've got our name out there, so we don't have to spend as much. And yeah, we still spend lots of money. We spent £100 million on Grealish. Of course we did. But we make money back as well. We sell players. We sold Torres to Barcelona, which I'm not entirely happy about, but he wanted to go. You know, we sold Sané to Bayern Munich. We had to do that because he wasn't signing his contract. We make money back as well. And people are just quick to throw around, oh, City are bad for football. City are ruining it. Oh, City breaking all these rules. Basically, fans are just going on the rhetoric that they hear from other fans. They hear from these United fan channels, the Chelsea fan channels. Oh, you know, City must be breaking the rules because they won this game against Barcelona, or they made it to the final of the Champions League. They're breaking rules. We're not. Quite simply, we're just playing good football. It's entertaining to watch. And yeah, people hate to watch a team win. They do. I mean, when we won the league in 2012, and you know, you go back to the Sunderland fans against United when that last game of the season, when they were celebrating us winning the league, they probably wouldn't do it now. But back then we were the underdogs, and people wanted to see us succeed because of our fans. It was funny because back then people were like, oh, you know, these City fans been through thin and thick. You know, they've seen their teams in the hard times. You know, it'd be nice to see them win the league, but now it's all like glory hunters. You know, and it's funny to watch and funny to twist in just 10 years. That's all it is. So I don't want to, you know, hear that people are blaming us for ruining football and we've turned the Premier League into a farmers league. Quite frankly, we're playing extremely good football and we're controlling games really well. That's about it, really. I mean, City are not bad for football. Again, you look at the infrastructure we put into place, the money we spent on East Manchester. We've done really good things, and people are quick to diminish that. People are quick to call us out on, oh my God, they spent this money. But we're making profit, and we've improved Manchester huge amounts. We may not have the fan base, and you keep calling it the empty hand, but if that's the only thing you got on us, that our stadium is not full every game, you know what? Pretty salty. And it's pretty sad as well. You know, focus on your own teams and try and get your teams to do more in the community like ours is. And yeah, focus down on yours. Thanks very much. That's all I've got to say, really. I mean, a bit of a rant, I suppose, but again, I'm just seeing it all the time, and I'm kind of bored of hearing about how City are ruining everything for everyone and how boring we are. But you know, if your teams are not competing, that's just the way it's going to go down. And I hope City keep it up, because for me, great to watch. It's great to hear. And it's great to win things as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out. Make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to share it and tell everyone about it. Thanks for joining in. I'm hoping in the future to start doing fan forums and things like that. We can open up and have a bit of a debate rather than just hear my voice, and maybe do things live too. And I will be live for the City game on the weekend. I think it's against Southampton, the Southampton game on Saturday. So make sure to tune in for that. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think and if we are really bad for football. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.